Hello, I'm Garrett Dumas Wong, and today I'm going to tell you a story of how the songwriting process for musicians around the world has fundamentally changed due to music streaming services like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube becoming so prevalent and pervasive in today's world. Well, some music listeners might still parse through record label stores to find their favorite vinyls and CDs. Those days simply aren't as popular as they once used to be. Now, through the power of technology, many music listeners use streaming services to listen to their favorite music and find new music. Streaming services simply are the new way. They are here to stay, and they won't be going anywhere until a radically new technology is introduced to us. But there's some problems that streaming music has. First of all, it changes how songwriters approach the songwriting process. You should know that streaming services like Spotify reward and pay their musicians based on how many streams or clicks they generate. This is noteworthy because musicians aren't rewarded based on the duration of their songs. They're simply paid based on how many clicks their songs get. But what does this really mean? Well, this means that musicians can release shorter songs and more shorter songs to make money. They don't need to spend a lot of money to mix and master long songs. In fact, it's not profitable and not desirable to release a long song. It's simply not attractive, and the algorithm that Spotify has does not reward musicians with longer songs. It simply is just a bad business model to release long songs nowadays. A musician's dollar can go further by mixing and mastering more mediocre songs compared to composing one masterpiece. This quote by Josh Wilson really speaks to how music has changed nowadays. Streaming services have favored quantity over quality. And while new listeners to music may be accustomed to that, old music lovers may not be used to that yet, because songs really are shorter nowadays. The internet and music streaming services have also changed how artists promote themselves. It is very favorable and desirable for a musician to collaborate with musicians around the world. It's pretty simple, really. When musicians collaborate with other musicians, they're able to reach a wider audience and introduce their name to more households. For example, a rapper in America can sing a song with a singer in the UK, while a producer in the Down Under in Australia mixes it and masters it all together. This is beneficial for all three parties because they share the risk if the song fails, but they can also all reap the rewards if the song goes viral, and they can all make music and money together. Another interesting thing to note is how song structure has been changing in songs due to Spotify and consumer tastes. The traditional verse chorus form follows as this. The song starts off with a verse, it's followed by a chorus, and then a verse, and then a chorus. And you can throw in another verse and chorus there if the songwriter wants the song to be longer, and throw in some bridges to transition the song nicely. Pretty classic. This has been around for over 100 years, and it's very familiar for a lot of listeners. But nowadays, it is very popular for songwriters to start their song off with the chorus section of their song, as opposed to the verse. But why, you may ask? Well, it's simple. The chorus is typically the catchiest part of the song. And when the average Spotify listener is scrolling through their music, finding new songs, and the algorithm is suggesting new songs to them, When they hear the catchiest part of the song right from the get-go, they are more likely to listen to the rest of the song, discover who the artist is, and possibly listen to more of that artist's music. This form of music really has catered to our generation's short attention span. And songwriters also write their music in such a way to uh, increase their chances of their music being showed on social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram. Creators on those platforms always use music in their videos, and they are more likely to pick the catchiest songs because that will help them attract and be a good content creator for their audience. So it just makes sense for songwriters to create catchy songs and show the flair and catchiness of their song right from the get-go and not waste anyone's time. Streaming has also given artists more power. Before streaming existed, artists needed to have a good track record of performing live in order to sign deals with record labels that would help them publish and record their songs and sell them in vinyl stores. But now, thanks to social media and streaming services, artists are able to create viral songs in their bedrooms, publish them, and go viral. Once their songs go viral and these artists gain notoriety, they can approach record labels with a lot more leverage, and they're able to sign themselves better record deals and contracts. And this has really been a good thing for a lot of artists around the world. And artists are trying to create the best songs ever in order to become viral and approach record labels with this power. But despite streaming popularity, the music industry has faced some setbacks. You should note that profits have fell. In 1999, profits in the music industry in America peaked at 21 billion, but they've dropped down to 14 billion in 2018. This is due to the fact that Spotify does not pay their artists as well as record labels do. So Spotify only pays about 70 cents to the dollar for each dollar that a musician generates, and they retain about 30 cents. So it is really hard for young and up and coming musicians to make a living. And most of the money goes to prominent musicians who already have established themselves in the music industry. The streaming algorithm has also phased out certain genres that we may have loved. So, for example, classical music and jazz, genres that typically have longer song structures, are not as popular nowadays because it's not profitable for young musicians to pursue a career in these genres. It is simply too expensive and does not pay back enough money for musicians to pursue these genres just because long song structures do not pay out. It is much more advantageous for a young artist to pursue pop because those songs are shorter and more profitable. So that concludes my presentation, and thank you for listening. And I really appreciate your time. So here are some resources that I used for my project. Thank you.